gosh, I think the whole thing in itself was just a great experience. You know, it's so rare that you find success in television nowadays. It's so competitive. You you know, when we were shooting the pilot, first of all, it was kind of an underdog pilot. No one really thought much would happen with it because it was kind of its own thing. So for us, it was really about enjoying the process, and we all get along so incredibly well on the show. It's the best cast, I think, that I've ever worked with. We have so much fun, and it was just sort of like, well, you know, until it airs, we've got this amount of time to work together, and we'll just, you know, make the most of it. But to have that relationship with everyone and the crew and the writers, and then to have success and to have really great success, and then it's suddenly international, and it's, you know, being so well received, and critically we were well received as well as in terms of viewership. And I mean, that just doesn't happen, I feel like. So I think that the whole experience was just great, because it was just as much fun to work on the show as it was to see this thing that we're all doing do well. And it just doesn't happen that way. So we're very grateful, and it's just been a great year, really. I was reading. I had left Brothers and Sisters early on in their 5th season, and decided that I was just going to take a break for a while. I'd been working almost consistently for, I don't know, 8, 9 years, and just had been playing kind of similar characters, and I just felt like, you know what, now's my chance to step outside the box and do something different. And I was lucky to, you know, be able to take that time to find the right thing. So pilot season came along, and I was, you know, reading things, and there were so many scripts out there that were kind of floating about that I liked. I remember the Playboy Club, which I thought was really good, but I don't know, I just wasn't connecting with a lot of these parts until I read Revenge. And then I was sort of like, okay, well, this probably won't go anywhere because it's great. And sometimes the great ones, you know, slip, you know, through the cracks. But I want to do it, and I want to work with these people. Phil Noyce was directing; it was brilliant, and Mike Kelly was absolutely a genius. And just, I was like, you know what, these are the people I want to meet with. So we met, but then they had to go through the casting process. Paulie had just come to ABC, so he wanted to see everything, and they went through like a month of casting, and then it came to the screen test. They do these things called, you know, network test, studio tests. So the final stage was the network test, and they asked me to come in because they really didn't think I could play that kind of dark side that the character needed, and so I went in, and the rest is history. I guess I showed them the darkness. But it was great. I had a brilliant meeting, I remember, with Marty Bowen and Mike Kelly, and I just thought, I really want to work with these people. And it was one of those things that, I mean, the whole year, just everything sort of fell into place. It was really, really cool. Finding the balance with his character it's just really difficult, but what makes it really fun, I think. I think we find a lot of that balance in a lot of the flashbacks, seeing what happened to her as a young person. You know, people have different feelings on flashbacks, but I think in our show it's really necessary to see what this child had been put through to see why she is the way she is now. I had many conversations with Philip Noyce, with Mike, when we were shooting the pilot. How do we make this character likable? How do we keep people rooting for her when she's doing so many horrible things? And then you think about it in one of my favorite shows, Dexter. Why am I rooting for him all the time? It's infusing these characters with humanity and vulnerability in any moment that you can, and choosing those moments wisely, because you don't want to abuse that. But you have to give them a level of humanity for people to relate. And then in terms of the darkness and that kind of sociopathic, odd, you know, behavior stuff that I kind of had to infuse in the character, that was a lot about physicality, I think. You know, I have a ballet background, and I think any young woman uses their hand. I mean, I'm using my hands a lot to speak right now. You know, you're bubbly. You know, you tend to move a lot, and I kind of decided to make her very still. And I think there's something really odd about a young woman who, on the outside, is just sort of the model of perfection, dresses beautifully, the perfect blonde hair, but who doesn't really move a lot. It's so weird if you think about it. And so just making little choices like that sort of give her that edge, that thing that Victoria's kind of weirded out by, that thing that everyone's a bit weirded out by. But then for the audience to be able to see what she's been through, that's super important as well. So it's like a game of chess.